You'll find a recording format selection switch, which you can record in MP3 up to 320 kilobits per second or WAV up to 24-bit 96 kilohertz. Then you'll find a low cut switch, which rolls off frequencies at 80, 120, or 160 hertz. You'll find a limiter on off switch. And lastly, you will find the recording level button, which lets you adjust the gain for the line input. Then you will obviously find the record button, which is pretty self-explanatory. You hit that to start recording, hit it again to stop recording. Next, you're going to find a play pause button, which will let you either play back recordings on the SD card or pause the recording and start it back up without having multiple files. You'll find a stop and option button. Stop is pretty self-explanatory. It will stop the playback or stop your recording. And you can hold this button down to access some additional options like your menu, your zero latency monitoring, and all sorts of additional stuff. And lastly, you will find a red LED light on the bottom to show you when you're recording, when the device is on, and all sorts of very quick access information like that. Then on the top of the device, you will find a 10-pin connector, which is compatible with all of Zoom's ecosystem of capsules, from their shotgun microphone to their dual XLR capsule. On the bottom, you will find the microphone line-in jack, which is where you're going to connect your lavalier microphone. And then you'll find a headphone jack, which does offer computer playback when you're running this as an audio interface, as well as zero latency monitoring. On the left-hand side of the device, you're going to find a headphone volume up and down button. You'll find a USB port, which you can use to power the device. You can use it to transfer files to your computer, or use it to connect to your computer as an audio interface. And you'll also find this very janky battery compartment, which is difficult to navigate. On the right-hand side, you will find the power switch, and you can also set this to hold, so none of your settings change while you're recording. And you'll find the micro SD card slot. Then on the back of the device, it does have these belt loops, so you can put this on your belt and have very easy access to it. And it has a tiny little threading, which is what you'll use to connect the belt clip, or if you get the shotgun version, what you'll use to connect the shock mount. Okay, right now I do not have the low cut enabled. Let's go ahead and switch it to 80 hertz. This is how it sounds. Now we'll jump up to 120 hertz. This is how it sounds. And lastly, we'll test it out with 160 hertz, and this is how the audio sounds with that roll-off. Okay, so right now I have my gain set at high, and you can hear and see that I'm clipping. This light is blinking. You can see that I'm peaking the meter. Now let me go ahead and be quiet and enable the limiter. Now I have the limiter enabled. You can hear the change in tone of the noise. It is more high-pitched, and the tone of my voice is very compressed now. So if you're not looking for that, make sure to record at a decent level where you have a good amount of headroom, because when you enable the limiter, you're going to get this very compressed tone as well as a higher noise floor. Okay, so right now I have the lavalier microphone connected directly to the device, recording in 24-bit 48 kilohertz. Low cut is off, limiter is off, and my recording level is currently set at mid plus. I'll go ahead and turn this to auto and then slowly go through each of the steps of gain and show you how much noise it introduces, and then turn on the limiter and show you what effect that has on the noise level. Low minus. Now, in order to set this up as an audio interface, all you do is plug in a micro USB cable to your computer, and then a menu will pop up giving you the option of an SD card reader or an audio interface. Then you have to select if you are connecting this to a Mac or PC. And lastly, you have to decide if you want to bus power this, i.e. powering it off of the USB cable or power it off of battery. Okay, right now I'm recording the lavalier microphone directly to my computer using this device as a USB audio interface recording at 48 kilohertz 16-bit. But as you can see on the screen, this device is being treated as a stereo input, which is what it is. So if you are using the provided lavalier microphone and nothing else and recording directly to your computer, the audio is only going to be coming out of the left side of the speaker. So if you're somebody who's using this device to live stream, you would need to go into your streaming software in the audio preferences and say down mix to mono, so the lavalier microphone comes out of both left and right speakers. On the other hand, if you're going to be doing post-processing, you can just import this track and mix it down to a mono track, and then you'll have the same effect, lav coming out of both speakers.